Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Today is Wednesday, November 20th. Yes, November 20th already, 2024. About 10, 11 days left in the month of November. Wow, the time is moving by rapidly. How is everyone doing this morning? I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineered to Win. We have my guy in the building already. Your car, Mr. Technique, is in the building. Good morning to you, car. How are you doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. It is currently 4:38 a.m. for my guy in your car over there on the West Coast, but he is here supporting. So shout out to your car. I really, really appreciate you. All right, so we are going to get into our news stories for today, and then we are going to continue working on figuring out this, continue figuring out these widget tests for our time cost calculator mobile app that is available in the iOS store as well, the iOS App Store, as well as the Google Play Store. All right. So before we do that, do me a favor though, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content. We are going to get started with our news stories for today. So let's jump into that. All right, so our very first story of the day is Comcast to spin off cable networks. All right, so let's put up our timer, our first timer. So Comcast is proceeding with a plan to spin off its NBC Universal cable TV networks, the Wall Street Journal reports, citing anonymous sources. Channels including MSNBC, CNBC, and USA, with about $7 billion in revenue in the 12 months ending September 30th, will move to a new entity, while Bravo, the Peacock streaming service, and NBC Broadcast Network will remain with the parent company. So let me make sure I understand this correctly, right? So they're saying that the Wall Street Journal is reporting via anonymous sources, all right, the channels of MSNBC, CNBC, and USA Network, I guess, with about $7 billion in revenue in the 12 months ending September 30th, will move to a new entity, a new, I don't know, company. They're independently, I don't know. While Bravo, the Peacock streaming service, and the NBC broadcast network will remain with the parent company. The separation, which could be announced Wednesday, marks a reversal of fortune since Comcast acquired NBC Universal in 2021 or 2011. In 2011, its cable stations were seen as prime assets, but viewership has eroded as cable subscribers have defected to streaming platforms. Interesting. I don't know if that's the only reason that, I mean, I'm sure it helps that we have other options. Some people have YouTube TV, some people have Sling, I think it's called. I used to have that for a little bit. And some people just say, I don't even need cable. I can get a subscription to HBO, I can get a subscription to Stars, I can get a subscription to Peacock, to Paramount, to Disney, to Netflix. And even when you put all those streaming subscriptions together, it's still more like it's
Okay,
still
let's move on.
it still saves more than half the cost of if you were to get cable with internet, right? If you just get internet and then you get like the things that you want, it's probably still cheaper than if you were to get the whole cable service. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. MSNBC, CNBC. I'm a bit surprised by USA Network because I thought USA Network was pretty strong, but maybe they're trying to make a nice package deal. Who knows? But that is our first story of the day. Let's continue on. AI studio shakes up Hollywood. So last year, generative artificial intelligence was a sticking point in the strike that crippled Hollywood. Today, it's the basis for a new studio, Promise, backed by prominent entertainment and tech investors. The company won't be using generative AI to make the snow look pretty when it falls, a co-founder tells the Wall Street Journal. Instead, within 3 years, it expects to be using the technology to make shows and movies. What? As for the argument that AI will eliminate entertainment jobs, its founder says Promise will play a role in bringing Hollywood's movie-making magic to the masses and your car, I need your help here. Democratizing creation. Interesting. So I don't know. This looks like a direct shot at the major Hollywood actors and singers and all the people that you don't really have a choice but to like because that's who they put in front of you. And you guys how I like to say, who they put in front of you is what they think of you. But now this studio, Promise, they're saying, we're gonna change the game just a little bit. We're gonna change the game up. People want to reform. You shall have. Even when it comes to entertainment, like we're not gonna be messing around with just making the snow look pretty. We are going to revolutionize the Hollywood game. But it's going to be very interesting because, some people, they are very reluctant to AI, while other people, they're like, let's see how far we can push it and what we can do, and then let's make it our own. So I'm curious to see what they're going to come out with. I'm definitely going to be checking out this studio called Promise to see what they have in the pipeline. All right, so let's continue on with our next one for today. Nvidia seeks to maintain its lead. Nvidia will need to reassure investors it can continue to outrun other chip makers in the field of generative AI when it releases its closely watched third quarter earnings on Wednesday. That's today, so I'm curious to know. Specifically, investors will be watching how it may address concerns about the next generation Blackwell chip, which reportedly can overheat and show it can continue its explosive growth at a 3.5 trillion market cap. Now, the world's most valuable company, it's expected to announce annual revenue growth of 83%. 83%. Although down from 122% in the prior period. I mean, I don't want to play this, but I mean, it is down. But revenue growth of 83%, that is absolutely amazing. I think 122% is just unheard of. So if we can get an 83% growth, I am all with it, all right? tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have to check my Nvidia stock and see how that's looking. All right. Investors are bracing for big stock swings after the report. I mean, I wonder if they're expecting a big stock swing of going down, because they didn't hit their 122%. I mean, 122% is a high goal to set. It's a very, very high goal. So we shall see. I'm going to be looking out for that report to see how that goes. All right. Let's continue on to our next story for today. Netflix gears up for NFL test. So Netflix may claim to have drawn the largest ever streaming audience for a sporting event with last weekend's Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul boxing match, which was absolute trash, as my guy Mitch would say. But the streamers will be looking to put that broadcast tech glitches in the rear view as it tackles its highest profile live event yet, a Christmas Day NFL broadcast featuring Beyonce as halftime performer. Wow. That's gonna, all right. So if you thought you had a lot of people tuning in for Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, imagine a football game on Christmas Day with Beyonce as the halftime performer. This isn't even the Super Bowl. I don't even remember they had performers for halftime on Christmas Day football. And to have Beyonce at that, this is going to be, all right. Okay. All right. Side note. Do you think she's going to get paid $10 million for this NFL performance? Or did they say that the NFL doesn't pay their performers, like especially for the Super Bowl, right? So I don't know. Is she getting $10 million for this? That's a good question. Your card, do you know? What's up, Melvin? How you doing this morning, Melvin? Happy to have you here as always. But according to front office reports, citing anonymous sources, NFL officials are confident the streamer can iron out the wrinkles before the game day, with Netflix CTO Elizabeth Stone writing in an internal email that although the Tyson Paul stream left room for improvement, the company still considers it a huge success. All I'm going to tell you this, right? Netflix, if you mess up the halftime show, I think people will be okay with missing out the first and second quarter, the third and fourth quarter, maybe not the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, unless it's a blowout game. But if you mess up the halftime performance, you will never hear the end of it. You will probably never get another NFL game if you start buffering and messing up like you did on the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. You mess up Beyonce's halftime performance, it might be over. It might be over for you, Netflix.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm just being honest, right? I gotta get that sound. I have to get that soundbite that Alexis mentioned, right? Last news story for today. SpaceX test rocket aborts catch. So, SpaceX completed the 6th test launch of its Starship rocket Tuesday, but not everything went according to plan. The crew abandoned an attempt to catch the rocket booster with the mechanical chopstick arms, a maneuver the company completed for the first time in a test launch last month. Though the rocket's upper stage successfully splashed down in the Indian Ocean after an hour-long flight, hopes are extremely high for Starship. It's under contract with NASA to bring people back to the moon for the first time in 50 years. We're going to the moon. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk watched the launch alongside U.S. President-elect Donald J. Trump. So, I didn't get to watch it yesterday. It was such a busy day, but we did see the chopstick catching the rocket last month, but it looks like something went wrong. I'm not sure what. Maybe they'll have some reports on what went wrong, which would be interesting to see. But nonetheless, I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, I just love the innovation. I love the I know, and the fact that SpaceX is supposed to go and rescue these astronauts who are trapped in space from the Boeing flight. The fact that they can go and rescue them, I think that is really great work by SpaceX, and working with NASA to help NASA perform a little bit better. So that is our news stories for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the news stories. Let's go back to full screen. And let me get this off the screen. All right. So let me check the chat. We got my guy Melvin in the building. It says, good morning, Baggers. Good morning, Melvin. How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing well. We have Roxy in the building. What's up, Roxy? How are you doing? So happy to have you. You know what, Roxy? I'm just gonna give you a little. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Say it ain't so. All right, you know what? Give me a second. Give me just one split second here. We can't be doing this. Let me drop that right there. I'm just gonna give Roxy. Just say hi. This is how I say hi to Roxy.
Roxy on the scrubs, always shining bright, carrying hands and a heart, bringing hope to the light.
Good morning, Roxy. So happy to have you here as always. Hopefully you're doing well. I guess you might be getting off your shift, so hopefully you go and get some good rest. We have Monica D in the building. Good morning, Monica. How are you? So happy to have you here. I don't think I've ever spoke to you before, but welcome. Appreciate you for being here. Hopefully you had your cup of coffee already and you're getting ready for the day. All right, so we're gonna jump into the mobile development, the test that we're doing. Remember, we have our model view controller presentation premiering at noon Eastern time today. And tomorrow night, we're going to be going live. We're going to be continuing to work on building out our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data so that we can use it on our Saturday morning shows when we're reviewing the weekly economic numbers. So I'm going to schedule that stream after this show. So be ready I'll see you guys at noon and I'll see you guys tomorrow night as we continue to get our work on. All right. So with that being said, let me check the chat real quick. Roxy loves her song. I love that song too. And Melvin says, I have to get some Netflix stock. They still killing the streaming game. I have Nvidia and DXYZ. I don't know which one. What's DXYZ? Let me check that one real quick. DXYZ stock. Who's that? Is that an ETF? Oh, it looks like an ETF. Tech 100 Inc. Let me see. What is DXYZ? Destiny Tech 100. I have to check that one out. And Tesla stock, they are jumping. Tesla is looking nice. I must say, Tesla is looking nice. I don't have any Netflix either. For some reason, I never really got into the Netflix stock. And I'm a lurker. I check you out every day. I appreciate it so much, Monica.
I appreciate you.
I welcome the lurkers, those who are active. As long as I can add value and entertainment for you, I am more than happy to hear that. So thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing, and for chatting with me today. All right. So let's continue with our work for today. Okay. So we like to do, early morning, get our mind stimulated, start to do a little bit of coding. So let's jump into the screen. All right, so we have been fighting to get our widget test, because testing is important, so we've been trying to get these widget tests to work right. And one thing that we did last week was making sure that when we find the arrow up button, let me start the app, right? Let me start the app so that you can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. Starting our emulator real quick. Oh, it's still up for some reason. I wasn't expecting that. But we were testing this button over here, or like clicking on these buttons and making sure these numbers are correct, all right? So, and I had set up to run our tests inside of here with the tag of work in progress so that we can specify just one. So if we were to run this again, I don't need this for now. So it says time spent on activity is 1. Now, so it's finding this, right? I think for now we could be safe doing that, but I'm always a bit nervous and reluctant to find things by first, second, and third. But being that we control how many arrows, like it's not like some random thing, I think it's safe to leave that as it is for now. Okay. So now what I want to do is to continue with this test. Let's go and say I want it to be when I increment this right here. So I'm gonna put, let's say we put $100,000 income a year, right? When I increment by 1, I should get 1142. That is the goal. That is the goal. So let's see if we can do. I'm gonna go copy this from another one. Copy this. Go here. And I'm gonna say, there goes that charger again. All right, so I'm gonna just put 100,000 over here, right? 100,000 here. And we are going to say, when I pass in copy this. I'm just gonna copy this whole thing right here, right? And I'll just get rid of the stuff that I don't need. All right, he's gone. He's gone. All right, let me put this over here. I'm gonna take that. Get rid of. I just comment these out for now, and I will comment this out for now. So all right, so here we get here and we put in the value of 100,000, and then we say, let's see, total. Let me see what we're doing here. So all right, so now we're doing the increment, and we should have. Let me take from the other one. Let's see. I don't want money made. I want total cost. Money made. Let me see. Do I have a cost of activity in here? Cost of activity. Huh, I don't have one for that one in particular. Let's see if our cost of activity at least changes in here. So let's try this test real quick, right? We're gonna try this test and see what happens. So with this, and by clicking on that one increment button of here, the cost of the activity does go to 11. However, we do not have, so let's see. I don't know why we never, let's see if we can get the money spent at least, right? Let's see if we can get money spent. Let's go to, because if we have the money spent, that means the cost of activity should be good too. Let's take that. Take that. And let's go to let's see. All right, so now there should be money spent. And it should be 1142. Let's run that test again. It says bad state, no element. What? What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Let me see. If we go to test key, activity, time, cost, calculate results. Find by constant key. All right, test key profit made. Maybe we have to scroll to it. Maybe we might have to scroll to it. Let's see. Activity. Okay. It is saying that no bad state, no element. For this one in particular, let me see. Right here. Let's try to scroll to it. Maybe we have to scroll to it. Let's see. Let me do a little bit more scrolling. Let me copy that one. Because with these tests, if it can't see it, then it can't get to it. So let's say we move this one under this. No, but because you can't even find it. This one. Interesting. Let me try this instead. Let's go. If we go here and we say find by key and we say this maybe. Let me try that. Let's try that. No element. That is interesting. Why? All right, let me go back to this test over here and see what's going on. Let's see. So we have this. I'm going to take this tag right here and I'm going to put it on okay. I'm going to put it on this one. So this one actually finds the money made, but it is off by some numbers for some reason, but that we can always figure that out later. But this one says it can't even find it at all. Let's see what that means real quick. Flutter, bad state, no element. Let me see. I'm running a list first where, and this sometimes throws an exception. Okay. Let me see. Make sure it's the same thing. Yeah, similar. All right. This happens when there is no matching element, i.e. A equals B is never true for any of the elements in the list. Um, hmm. Interesting. Interesting. So, all right, we know what that means, but I don't see why that would be the case. Let's keep looking. So on this test, we say final list finder, find additional cost of activity field, enter total amount made from activity, and then we say find the total made. Let me copy this as well. Let's see. Let me copy this over too. Yep, we have a huge refactoring job ahead of us to make this a little bit more cleaner and code friendly. So I have this here. Let me see. Scroll until visible. Somebody, all right, is list finder being used in here? Let's see. So we get in here, we have this expect activity. And then this one is saying this text. And you're saying that no. So this one finds, that's it? I don't know. Because if it couldn't find it, I would expect the error to be here. Evaluate. Let's see if we do first, maybe. See what happens with that. Why is it not able to find it? And that's why I really wanted to get these screenshots on here. Let me see. I don't even see the. Let me see. Why are we not? Let me see. Why are we not seeing this? Monies. Let me take a look. No, I shouldn't have to take a look because it's there. Because if we search for, let's see, money spent, and we look for some more. Oh, okay. I see why. Because we're making a negative, so it changes the key based on positive or negative in order to change the colors. So that makes all right. I got it. So let's go to over here. So this should actually be profit loss. So now that in theory should work. Let's run that again. So we got that. All right, perfect. Just what we wanted to see. Let's add another test to it, right? So now if we say we increment it one more time, we go to, so after this one, we go to, guess we should scroll back up. If we go to this again, and so now we're going to scroll back up. Just put some comments in here real quick. Scroll back up to time spent. And we say that we do the arrow up again. And we say arrow up again. And now this should be 2. And this should be this might not be accurate, but we're going to try it out and then we'll fix it if it's not right, because this might not get updated, but this should be the expectation. Okay. Let's run that again to see what happens. And then we'll do the same test, but for the decrement as well as for the minutes as well, you know? So, let's see what we got here. All right, so like I said, it didn't update, but that is probably because we need to make another, we probably need to just update the element for it. So let's go to, have that. I think we just have to redeclare all these things over here. Let me see. So what I might end up doing is, in order to optimize it, create a bunch of additional tests so that it can be a lot cleaner and we can just pass in parameters to it instead of having like the same code over and over and over again. I'd rather just pass in some parameters and loops and stuff like that. Let me see if I do 2, 2, and 2, 2, just to test it out, right? Just to test it out. So let me take off the work in progress on this one because we don't need it anymore. I hope I found these tags because now we can quickly run through one particular test. And this is saying 2283. Come on, come on. Fair enough. Fair enough. We can do that. But we got it to work. We got it to work though. Let's go to $22.83. All right, so let's do that. Nice. Nice. Look at that. Look at that. We are winning. So definitely opportunities to refactor this, but we're going to leave it as it is for now. And we will get all of our different tests done. And then we'll come back like after we deploy this and work on our other apps. Like after we push this to the App Store, we have our test running, which is what's most important. But then after we have that running, push to the App Store, work on our other app that we've been talking about. Then we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to this and optimize our test and our code so that we can have some nice clean tests and clean code. But like I said before, our goal is to get this working. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stage our next test. So when we come back on Monday, we can hit the ground running, where we can do the decrement as well as start working on the minutes side of the game, right? So let's get rid of all these. Let's get rid of all of these. Actually, yeah, we'll put it back. Well, no, we're good. So let's take that. Let's take this widget right here. Let's close that out. I'm going to copy this. So validate to use the increment button on the hours spent field. We're going to copy this whole thing right here. And we're going to paste this in here. We're going to say validate use the decrement button on the hours spent field. So now we still have 3 minutes. So let me just set this up real quick. We'll say, so what we'll do here is I'll just put some notes in here real quick. To do, we're going to type, so enter the 100K annual income. Type in 10 hours spent of time working on whatever, and then tap hours decrement button. Let's say this to do test scenario, right? Tap hours decrement button. Validate change, and then tap hours decrement button again. Validate change in number in hours spent field. Validate change in total cost. All right, so this is going to be the test that we're going to be running, that we're going to be writing on Monday, and then followed by, once we get done with this test, then we'll do the same for minutes, and then I think that should be it for our test, or our widget test for the changes that we made, where we are validating, typing it in here, clicking on this right here, clicking on this right here, typing in here, clicking on this, making sure all of our numbers get updated accordingly. And then we have to figure out that other one where, because we could see the numbers being validated when we click on these buttons, but for some reason when we were typing it in, it wasn't getting it. So maybe we're missing a pump and set or an update or something like that. We'll figure it out. But that's it. That's it. We made a lot of progress today. So let's clap it up for us. Well, with that being said, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me say hi to my friends real quick who came in after as we were working. So we got my guy Rod Brown in the building. Good morning, Rod Brown. How are you doing today? I know I saw Alexis in there as well. Where is Alexis? I know I saw Alexis. Where is Alexis? Alexis is here. Good morning to you, Alexis. How are you doing today? And we have my best friend in the whole wide world in the building, Mitch. What's up, Mitch? How are you doing today?
Hey.
You know, Mitch, I tried to go do some research on what you were talking about yesterday, and I actually have no idea. I have no idea what you're referring to. So if you can give me some additional context clues instead of just a letter, I would love to do some research, some op research to see what is going on.
It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
And as we head out, let me read the rest of the chat to see what we got going on. Let me see. Your car says, oh, where did my element go? Oh, where could it be? You know what, your car, that sounds like an amazing song. I'm going to go create it right after we get off of here. It says, with its syntax so short and its bugs so long. Oh, where could the element be? That's bars right there. I'm gonna drop a song for that. Stay tuned. Your car is celebrate good times. When we have the green check mark in our IDE, that is what we live for. Let me see what else. You got me good. Mitch. You got me good. And you have an amazing day as well, Roxy. If you're just getting off of work, hopefully you sleep very, very well. And I will catch you on the next one. And Mitch says, me, that's all you get. You know what? And that's good enough for me. And that is good enough for me. All right. With that being said, remember, we're going to premiere our model view controller web development architecture used by, I believe Angular uses the model view controller at noon today. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be going live. I'm about to schedule that. We're going to be going live, continuing to work on how pretty we make our urban dictionary of economic data. Your car helped out tremendously last week, guiding me on how to make it pretty, because I am not a graphical visual person at all. I can be creative with the code and with testing, but not, when it comes to graphics, not so much, right? And I'm reading what Mitch said. And Rod Brown gives some ideas as well, so we're going to be working on that to make it look better, right? Mitch says, no, focus. No, not focused. Those are the two letters. All right. I'm gonna do some more research. Car says elbow cough. All right. I'll see you guys at noon in the chat, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night live as we continue to work. You guys have an amazing middle of your week. Let's make it strong into the weekend. Let's have an amazing rest of the week. I actually had some additional stuff to share, but I'm going to share that tomorrow night on how I helped one of the people that I'm coaching to get ready for their interview. It was round 2 last night after the show. I'll share some insight on that and the things that you can do to help you level up in your career skills and in your tech game, right? But with that being said, we are out of here. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care.
Roxy on the scrubs, always shining bright. Caring hands and a heart, bringing hope to the night. She's a beacon of joy when she's in the room, healing the world, turning sorrow to bloom. Roxy, our hero, we sing your name. Oh, Roxy, we celebrate you today. With love and support, you lead the way. In every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. With every patient, you're lifting us higher. Your kindness ignites a passionate fire. Through long nights and struggles, you never lose grip. Nurse of the world, you're our guiding ship. Always in our hearts, your spirit won't tire. Oh, Roxy, we celebrate you today. With love and support, you lead the way. In every heartbeat, we lift you up strong. Your caring nature is where we belong. Always in our hero, we sing your name, we cheer. In every moment, you are always near. Oh, Tech coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech coach Ralph.